life finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal, though.
Death metal into the triple kill. Welcome back, everybody, to match number 2, Boogan Squad versus Ban Cho. And I did go check out the hero's profile link, and guess what I found out? I don't get the map bans, but I do get the map pick. And that is a nice change. It also allowed me to be able to set up a few of my other little tools prior to actually opening up the drive. So I'm actually pretty happy about that. And we're going to be getting right into the match here in just a moment. Wow, I set everything up, although I completely missed a step. My bad. Let me pop that up for you guys so that you can see. Alrighty. Let me just get us into the game, and we shall be ready to go right away. Need a minute or two. Alrighty, we are ready to go. Let's pop us into game. Game number 2, or number 1. Sorry, in match number 2, Boogan Squad versus Ban Cho. Let's get playing.
Prepare yourself for battle.
On the left side, make sure that I have this updated properly. We have Boogan Squad. Loose. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, I got trolled. Pause for half a second here. People just messing with me here. There's Boogan Squad supposed to be on that side, but looks like people kind of forgot how to set things up in the thing. So let me get my anti-caster trolling tool. Swap the teams over. And let's try that again. I did get the heroes correct. But I'm still gonna bring up the thing again. There we go. Now we're on the right sides. Blue side we have Ban Cho, Spice on the Arthas, Quinn on the Gul'dan, Sluggadin on the Falstad, Bluestein version 2 on the Anduin, and Skev 13 on the Dahaka. On the red side, we have Boogan Squad, Bummerknot on the ETC, Tom Peace on the Ana, Michael on the Leoric, Mantis playing the Orphea, and Camp Bellis on the Junkrat. Speaking to the drafts, I think ETC is a really top tier tank right now. I think Junkrat is particularly strong on this map, as games do tend to go long enough for him to get good macro value. Doesn't give you a lot of help on the early camps per se, but he's not bad at it. Orphea's decent, dropping a bit of her cooldowns, and that kind of combination between the two is actually not bad. Anna's definitely top tier support, and Leoric is fantastic on this map for his ability to double soak. Now, he's not going to be able to do that at level 1, although we see him starting his rotations already. So I say that, and Michael's like, you know what? I think you're wrong. He's going to leave a minion here or there, but the fact that he can get 2 waves in the time it takes them to get 1 and a nice interruption on the lane rotation here from Boogan Squad. And that kind of play is going to be very strong in the sense that they're going to be able to clear out waves much faster And they're going to get a slight experience lead because of it. So well played by Boogan Squad, making sure they get in the lanes, not allowing any of the rotations to come through. And Sluggadon's just on the bottom, just trying to see if we can poke out. They do get the first camp, so they're going to try to channel that through, but we can see Boogan Squad not hesitating to get on their own. Level 4 still not quite here, but Leoric just making sure that he's getting that rotation to the mid squad. And, you know, Boogan Squad plays so well on a map like this. They really kind of understand the rotations. ETC's getting poked down pretty low, though. It might actually be a bit of a problem here. It gets a nice double stun in the opposite direction, and now it's actually Bancho that's in a really bad spot. And Bluestein version 2 trying to get away from the Junkrat. Lands a nice route, make sure that he can get out so no one dies. And these camps do manage to push through on the wave and actually get some good pressure in onto the front wall. And meanwhile, Gul'dan's going to actually be able to do a good job clearing out 2 of those camps. He should be able to do the 3rd one, so a slight advantage in the bot as far as how the camps kind of worked out against each other because of that sort of invade that we saw from Bancho. So Bancho being aggressive, making sure they get there and disrupt what Boogan Squad's trying to do. But that double soaking Leoric still causing them a little bit of issues here. There's no way Dahaka can actually keep up on a double soak at this moment. It takes a little bit of while for him to get to that stage. Did take enhanced agility so that he could potentially keep up. But until that's fully stacked, it's just not going to be the case for the time being. But we're not doing a really good job trying to zone out these 2 here. But they are going to be able to get the delay onto the Junkrat. I probably wouldn't have gone for any of the channels yet. You know, when you waste time on that now, Dahaka actually gets a nice tongue onto Orphea. Manta's looking to get a little bit low. A good boop knocks the Dahaka back, but he's going to use Essence, walk himself out of there. Now Spice is in, and that's the issue with Arthas, is once he's in, it's kind of hard to get him out, but that's why you have the little cheat code and Leap of Faith to get him out. Some good engagement from ETC onto Falstad. They're really just trying to continue to put up consistent pressure. And Mantis gets a nice kill on Anduin, and that's going to turn things around for them. And now Junkrat is able to get that channel through. So the sustained fight just working out better in Boogan Squad's favor there, and they're going to be able to get the tower shot advantage in the in the beginning of this here match. We see Bummernot just trying to stay in position here to keep an eye on this camp, make sure nobody can take it for free. And now we're going to see a 4-man rotation in on this against their 3. Dahaka has to rotate in. He doesn't have dig, so no surprise, kind of backline burrows. Now it's a 5v4 as Leoric is still in the top lane, so they went for the invade, but Leoric was not in the mid lane. So a bit of a risk, and now Dahaka's going to clear that out. But they are going to sacrifice some experience for it, as Leoric's going to be able to get a top clear, push this wave in, interrupt any reinforcement, although Dahaka's going to dig up, and that means dig is down. And this is the bottom half of the map for this shrine, so hopefully that 75-second cooldown doesn't bite them in the butt, and he can make it back in time on the rotation for this next objective. It's looking like he should be able to. This camp is now going to be being pushed in again. Nice kind of disruption from Junkrat, just kind of making it not an easy walk in. ETC getting right in on the enemy team, but he's going to get poked down pretty hard. I mean, Falstad Gul'dan, significant amount of damage. Arthas deals actually quite a bit. Orphea's going to step up to see if she can pick off a backliner again, but I think she might have gone a little bit too far. Almost gets herself killed. And but Tompi's doing a good job making sure that she gets the heal she needs to stay alive, and ETC peeling out really well, and that is going to be a good escort in the top tower. Good does go down, so despite Boogan Squad getting some good big advantages like that kill right there, there's still good tower damage onto this bottom lane. But Dahaka does not dig in. He's not using his global effectively, I'd say, and that's going to be a free channel basically for Boogan Squad in the bottom. They're going to continue to delay this out, but they really can't full commit to it without the Arthas, and Leoric's going to continue to pressure that Gul'dan, and I don't think they can get another stall here, so that's going to be 2 shots. 2 towers fully channeled by Boogan Squad, and that's a significant lead in tower shots. Now, that doesn't generally mean anything. There's still lots of ways to go. Arthas was going a pretty standard kind of tank build until he took the Immortal Coil, which I think is still a good talent, but just not generally seen with this build. That's all. Interesting pickup is all. Is all I'm trying to say there. Full W build still being taken by Anna. We're going to see the engagement coming here on Bummerot getting pretty low, but they do get a nice sleep into stun. Mosh Pit goes on to Dahaka. He's eating the full channel of Eternal Feast there. But with the Anna heals, it's enough to keep him alive. There was no follow-up damage to really pressure out the ETC. Eternal Feast, that's the thing about Eternal Feast. It's never going to kill a target on its own. That's just not something that's designed to do. It's designed to amplify the already significant amount of poke damage coming in after any significant amount of CC comes through. So, oh, what am I talking about? Orphea's on ETC side. No wonder it disappeared when they got the kill. My bad. The Hawk was peeled out, I think, or he died. I can't remember. 3 kills to nothing. Single tower objective. I mean, what interrupts do they have for Mosh Pit? They have Fear, and they have Isolation, and they have Gust. So, still quite a bit. All ultimates, though. Nothing else can really interrupt them. So, it has to be an ultimate use for an ultimate use. So, good engagement onto Falstad. He gets Leap of the Faith, although I don't think he was in any incredible danger at that moment. So now that cooldown is down, and it's not going to be up for the remainder of this fight. We see Entomb coming down onto Dahaka. It also zones out. Gul'dan. I'm not sure why Junkrat didn't pop that. It actually does a bit of a knockback, which I think might actually interrupt Holy Word Salvation. I can't remember 100% though. But I guess he was concerned that he wasn't going to get the burst damage. He wanted out a Riptire there. But getting the kill on the Anduin anyways, they still managed to get the other channel. Now that's 36 shots to 20. Things looking a little bit worse now for Ban Cho, and they're really going to have to bring it back here in game number 1 if they want a chance in this series. So ETC parking himself back in that bush yet again. And Leoric gets the pick off into Dahaka in the top lane. Looks like they were brawling pretty close. Dahaka probably stuck around because he thought he might be able to get the kill. We're going to see a 2-man mosh pit into a Gust. But I think the mosh pit was enough, as it's going to also bait out a Fear. So 2 heroics to stop a mosh pit, and they still lose the Gul'dan. As Anduin was in the mid lane dealing with the mid lane pressure that's been being kind of consistently applied by Junkrat and Leoric with this incredibly good wave clear of theirs. That's what I was talking about. Like, Junkrat, especially with Ripper Air, which is what he has now, is going to be able to make those quick rotations into that mid lane to blow it up. And if he doesn't do it, Leoric's going to be able to come down here and double soak this. So, Anduin being stuck in this mid lane clearing is just not where you want your healer to be. It should be Falstad. Anduin should be with his team, with Gul'dan, making sure that the low mobility hero, high damage output hero of theirs isn't being picked apart by things like Mosh Pit, which is unfortunately what's been happening so far in this game. And unless Bancho really starts to kind of reorganize themselves, I don't know if they're going to be able to get a significant advantage. They are going to steal this camp, though. But are they giving up positioning on 2 channels for that camp? I mean, bot lane control is important, but so are the objectives, and I don't think giving up 2 full channels for this is going to be necessarily what you consider worth, especially since the rotation is going to be coming back in from Boogan squad. They find Gul'dan again by himself on a camp, by himself. Quindle's going to get Leap to Faith out, but he might still die. He gets low, but he does get healed. Anduin there for the save. We're going to lose that camp. We do have Entomb going down onto Arthas. Gus comes out to try to keep him alive, and he does so. So a decent peel, but that is ult for an ult. relatively low cooldowns. Mosh Pit is back up in 10 seconds, and that won't be available. Now Gust is not available for another major Mosh Pit. So they're going to have to burn. They have to burn Horrify to stop Mosh Pits. And that's just not the situation you want to be. I mean, I guess you could. And look, the mid lane is gone. All that pressure was just too much. Dahaka can't keep up with the double soak from Leoric, especially not with the supplementary wave clear coming in from Junkrat. And they have two globals here that they just aren't using. And that's really kind of the big problem here for Ban Shows. They're not using that double global engagement that they can have. 4-man Fear, though, into a Holy Word Salvation, though they weren't taking any damage, but it's still going to net them out a kill. Onto ETC. He did drop Mosh Pit in that fight, and the funny thing is that the Mosh Pit actually stalled out the fight long enough for them to be able to get the Riptire out. And Eternal Feast went down kind of underneath the Mosh Pit as well. So while ETC dies, they get a 4-for-1. Boogan squad really showing that they understand the macro on this map. They get the 5th kill as well. Endon goes down in the bot lane.
Be swift, heroes. Do not let the grave.
And this is dire straits for Ban Cho. I think this is GG. So that's going to be triple channel with the 5-man team wipe. And that's going to be it. Game number 1 going to Boogan squad, continuing to stay in that top spot in the division. Number 1, number 2. And that's how you do it, folks. Let's take a look at the statistics here. Orphea doing a really good job. I saw lots of great backline pressure, using that mobility, getting as much as they can, and the Eternal Feast off of each of those mosh pits that were very well planned out. Got a ton of value, and then we see that in the damage numbers. Junkrat, though, I think really was doing a lot of pressure, like the consistent damage. She still didn't even get all the way to 16, I don't think. Yeah, they just barely hit 16. This number would have started ramping up significantly. We don't need Junkrat for all of the hero damage. You need Junkrat for the macro, for the positioning, for the mines, for all that kind of stuff. And he really does put you significantly ahead. But really, let's look at this stat line here. 107,000 siege. That's just consistent, good wave clear. He still came in, got wonderful entombs off. And 15,000 experience soaked versus the 7,649 coming up from Dahaka. That's basically double, guys. He did double the experience soak. And that's significant. That's a huge advantage. 11-1 kills, and Boogan squad just showing that they were tough to beat in Div D. And they're going to be tough to beat in Div C. Really solid squad. I always like watching them play. They really kind of show and understand. And honestly, they play better than some of the Div B teams that I've seen. And we might be seeing Boogan squad pulling that off maybe next season if they pull off another big run through Division C East as they have this season. So anyways, let's put us to a break while I set up game number 2. And we'll be right back, folks. Welcome back to game number 2 between Boogan Squad and Bancho. We'll be going to... Hold on a second. Update! Infernal Shrines. And this one was picked up by Boogan Squad. We are still in reverse. Bancho's on the blue side. Boogan Squad's on the red side. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we'll be ready to go in just a second here. I'm just about ready. So let's, I think, get into the game. So, game number 2. Let's press play. Let's bring out those stat sheets, and we'll be starting back on the blue side looking for the equalizer. We have Bancho, Slugging It on the Rainer, Quinel on the Ana, Spice playing Muradin, Bluestein version 2 on the Kael'thas, and Skev 13 on the Nubarak. Not sure who you're offlaning, either Nubarak or Muradin here, but what's one of the two? Bit of a tank choke attempt, I think. An interesting composition here on the side of Boogan Squad. We have Tompies on the Abathur. Garrosh is being played by Michael. We have Mantis on the Ragnaros. Bummerknot is playing Rhaegar, and Camp Bellas on the Tychus. And I think this is one of those situations where you have certain people that only play certain heroes, so we see a bit of role swapping around on both sides. As you know, some people tend to be pretty generalist when they play a lot of solo league, Storm League, so it'll be interesting to see how this match ends up for game number 2. Hopefully Bancho can make a comeback here and go to game 3, but we'll just have to see. Boogan Squad was looking super strong in game number 1. It's going to be one of those big mountains to climb. We do have a bit of rotation advantage, I'd say, from Bancho with the Kael'thas. The wave clear is still a little bit better, although, again, when you're looking at like a Rhaegar and Tychus, wave clear is not too bad, actually, so it might not be that. Especially when you add like an Abathur hat on top of that, it's actually not too terrible. Rainer's in the top lane, dueling away with a Ragnaros. Not entirely certain who really kind of comes out on top in this kind of matchup. I think it's kind of skill-based, positional, all that kind of stuff. Ragnaros can get quite a bit of self-sustain off of the wave, and Rainer gets a lot of self-sustain off of just being Rainer. Mid lane contest, we do get Legion of Beetles, which I think is an okay adaptation to the W talent. With that cooldown reduction, the Beetles can actually do pretty good for blocking skill shots. With that said, there's not a whole lot of skill shots to block here, so it could be a bit of a... I don't know. It's really kind of hard to say which one is better in those situations. Beetles do give vision. They do kind of help with wave clear, but at the same time, they don't really do anything else. Unless you're really blocking, like, you know, Li Ming skill shots and things like that with them. So, Michael just zoning for his team, gets a big throw stun. Trying to stack that Warbringer, which he's already at 9 out of 15 stacks in the first 2 minutes and 21 seconds. He's getting a lot of pressure onto him, but a good heal coming out from Rhaegar, and now I think Spice might have overcommitted. He's actually going to get a lot of pressure onto him, and I don't know if he can peel out of this. He tries to stop things. Kael'thas actually turns around onto Michael, misses the stun though, so he doesn't get the kill. And it does keep Spice alive, but Michael also doesn't go down, so nothing really happened there. Just a bit of running around. Sleep coming out onto Camp Bellas. We see a nice throw, though, onto Spice. He does fall under the towers. Takes quite a bit of poke damage from that and Abathur, but it is Muradin. He's just going to bounce out and really don't have to waste a whole lot more healing on him, as he will, with Third Wind, restore most of that health right back up. No problem. And the first initial Shrine poke is going to come in actually from Bancho, so they're going to get it positioning here and maybe see if they can do a little bit more on the objective this game than they were able to get done last game. Michael stepping up to see if he can do something with the Rainer, but he can't quite get to him. But Nubarak now is super deep, and he does get thrown out by the Garrosh, and I think that actually saved him Had Michael just not thrown him, I'm pretty sure that Anubrak was a dead boy. Now, it's still not a great spot for Anubrak, and he did get a tap in, but he's not going to be able to step in here without a few more heals from Anna. But the health bars are really low. But, you know, given the fact that this is an Aperture composition, they're technically 4v5 in this situation. I'd say that Boogan Squad is getting what they want out of this, and actually they're still putting a lot of pressure onto this front line. It looks like Anubrak is finally going to go down. Raynor getting a lot of pressure. He just needs to back up. That was good sleep and enough to be able to get him disengaged. Campbellis, though, I think stayed up a little bit too long, but they do trade out, and it doesn't really matter. I think I would take that trade all day if you're going to get both Kael'thas and Raynor off of that in a somewhat 5v4 situation. And plus, look at what this camp was able to get with the Abathur hat. I mean, that's huge. It's going to be more than this thing's going to technically get in a lot of situations with a good defense, but with the 3-man kill, that rotation is going to come in nice and slow, so they might even still get this Fort 2 off this objective, and that is a hell of a way to start game number 2 on Infernal Shrines with an Abathur comp of all things. Good sleep on the garage, making sure that he can't get a good engagement with the follow-up stun. You see actually 3 stuns going onto him, but there's really not a lot of damage coming out onto it as they were trying to focus on the objective. But look at that. As soon as the fort goes down, Ragnaros is in it, and I think Spice is going to go down here, and that's a nice pick on the defense. Man, this Avacomp is just getting a ton of work done. That's 2 forts in the first 5 minutes. I have to say, you don't see that very often. Level 9 to level 8, 4-to-1 kills, and this composition is really working out. And also, just make a point, it's only going to get worse once we get to level 10. And Boogan Squad just doing a good job of just leveraging all their advantages. They can use Abathur to double soak, which he should go to that top lane, which is completely open, and get that soak with his body. Hat the bot lane and get that soak there. And he's going to hat the top lane, which is fine. But that was a double soak opportunity, Abathur, that you completely missed out on. Because, you know, you guys need even more advantages in this game. That's going to be level 10s, significantly ahead. Let's see if they do something with it. I think they have the eyes on this fort. That's the thing, you can escort in these Khazra and actually really put a lot of pressure onto this mid lane fort, but they're not even going to bother with that. They're going to go for a camp invade, which I think is actually probably the better play, as this way you can actually force out an engagement as you want that level 9v10 fight. Bancho doesn't want to give it to them. They do put a little bit of pressure on to get Bummer Knot. In fact, I think with a little bit more follow-up there, considering the double tank, they might have actually been able to pick him off, but now it's Spice getting thrown in. It gets taunted on the leap, plus a follow-up, so for a smash into a kill, that's a dead Murden. Dwarf Boy being exploded right there. Exploding Dwarf Syndrome is what I hear they call it. Well done there on that play. They do clear out the mid camp, but they do lose the Bruiser, which they're going to have to clear out as well. And it looks like Boogan Squad's going to put a little bit of more pressure onto this mid fort. Wave coming in. They've got 3 here. They know they're still busy in the top, so they've got time to put a bunch of pressure onto this. And if they get this fort down, I guarantee you Ragnaros is just going to re-fort back up if they get another one up. But the sleep came in, interrupting any chance for that. An objective is coming up in 20 seconds. Why waste it? The Boogan Squad's going to say, hey, we've got huge map control. We just took the 3rd fort in the game at 7 minutes and 55 seconds, which is, again, not something that you generally see happen. We do have Tom Peace here in the bottom lane, making sure that he's trying to body soak here. And he'll probably be heading the mid or top, getting that nasty double soak. Trying to propel his team back into another talent tier advantage at 13. And Bancho's really going to need to get into position on this shrine. They're already behind by 14. Almost half is already gone, and there's been no contestment up to this point on even talent tiers. Bancho was really just kind of letting this one go. It's going to be another Punisher for Boogan squad, basically for free. It was uncontested. Coming here now at 31 shots is a bit risk. We do see the web wrap coming out onto Garrosh, trying to give them open engagement onto the back line. And Mantis gets super low, but a great Ancestral keeps him alive. Camp Bellis is super low, so's Tompies. But that's just the Abathur clone, so who cares? We can see Spice doing their best to actually push in, but does he know that half his team is dead? Kel'Thas and Anubarak went down in that fight, and that's going to be a really tough spot for them to be able to close this out. And that's 2 more kills, 13 gathered. Bottom lane sufficiently pushed out. Mid lane also sufficiently pushed out. Abathur having the top lane, although he can just stick his body up there. I'm not entirely sure why he keeps doing that. Yeah, I think they're just going to focus on kills. I mean, they are significantly ahead. I think with this Punisher, you just push in and grab the mid keep. Ragnaros is going to be popped for the extra siege damage that it does provide, which can be quite significant. We're going to see the Punisher pop onto Kel'Thas. That is not who you want baiting that over. The 2 frontliners were in the bot lane, so, you know, dead Kel'Thas. And this could be a real problem, actually, for Ban Cho. I mean, with Kel'Thas dead, there's no anti-siege. This Punisher's still awake. I don't think they're going to go for a core here, but if they kill an Anubarak, which they do, that might actually be the case. We have a catapult. We still have a 5th of the health, or 6th of the health, or even less of the Punisher, but with that kill, this could be the end of the game. We're going to see a bunch of pressure coming onto Bluestein. He just got back, and Spice is going to go down with another great, very accurate Sulfurous Smash, although Mantis is going to die. But I don't know. That was a 3-for-1 trade. We still have Tychus and Rhaegar pushing down on this. It's going to be tough because there is a 3v3 here. Tychus is going to pop the Odin. Great taunt, but he's taking a lot of pressure, but that's a fantastic Ancestral. But Cocoon comes out to stop the siege from coming in. They do need to kill that catapult. It's actually doing a lot more pressure onto it than the guys were. Bummernaut says, guys, we need to go. This core attempt is not going to work out, but who cares? We're so far ahead on this map that now we can pretty much backdoor at any time. If we get another objective, this game is flat over. Michael's still trying to get peeled out, and you know what? The Rhaegar and Abathur are doing a pretty damn good job of making sure that he stays alive through this, and they get the counter kill onto Anubarak. So this is a 3v5 at one point, and they are the ones that kill Anubarak. Michael's getting super low, but that Rhaegar and Abathur heals keep him alive to the point where they get the counter kill onto Kel'Thas. They do trade it for Tychus, but now we're going to see the 3v3 coming out. I mean, it was working out so far. Why not just keep it going? And Anna's actually going to get picked off by the Rhaegar with the Abahat. Oh my gosh. My camera work on this was so bad. And that's a taunt into Sulfurous Smash. Dead Raynor. Another Cocoon coming out onto Ragnaros. I think this is unnecessary to the nth degree. Michael does finally go down. And despite the lead that you're in, this is kind of how you throw games, although we're going to see the clone come out and maybe kill off Spice. But no, they do manage to drop the clone. Ragnaros is going to put some pressure in, but you can't siege down a core, and now he's in a bad spot. If he gets hit by a burrow, Kel'Thas should have thrown out the immediate traded gravity lapse to give Anubarak that engagement, and they might have been actually been able to pick off Ragnaros in that situation. But despite all of that, I don't know, Clown Fiesta mid lane shenanigans that was going on, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Pause. Oh no. Anybody have an idea when that thing stopped? I must have hit something. I don't think it was that far back. Let's get into the game. Let's back up just a little bit. All right. We'll just go back to the team fight. Sorry about that, a little bit of technical shenanigans. I have no idea when that happened. There's the Sulfur Smash. There's the Kael'thas kill. We just wanted to replay this. Raynor goes down. This time I'm gonna watch the Rhaegar kill. Good stun onto the Rhaegar, but with that Abathur hat, it's just gonna keep him alive. That's going to be keep number 2 going down. Respawn timers are up. Raynor and Kael'thas are available for the defense. Boogan squad is again kind of clowning down here with the fact that they're leaving Tychus up in the top lane, but at this point they don't really care. They're going to get another kill, and 16s are still not here, so that taunt, getting another kill, slugging in frontlining by himself, because Nubrak wasn't interested in getting the engagement in. Cocoon coming on to Garrosh. This might actually go poorly for them, but Abaclone is up with 2 Rhaegars. And to save himself, Ragnaros is going to jump into his Molten Core. And they're going to continue to keep the pressure up with the double Rhaegar. Clone is down now, but Punisher will be incoming. Renault's going to want to get out of here, and Ragnaros is super low. They're going to get a Q off. Spice is actually the one that's in trouble now, because he wasn't in lane. But here comes the engagement from the Nubrak. Great taunt to keep him from killing Rhaegar there. Good Ancestral to keep him alive. Nubrak does eventually go down, but so does Tychus. But this is a full health Punisher. Anna is peeled out. Sluggin is the only one really remaining that can poke this down. And against all this, plus a 31% core, I think this is just going to be GG right here. Right here and now. Garrosh does die, but it just doesn't matter. That's going to be GG. Game number 2 going to Boogan squad. Another 2-0. There you guys go. Tom Peace did say GG's, even though he failed to put it into the appropriate chat. Those are your statistics. Good damage numbers from Bluestein version 2. Unfortunately, he was dead a lot in that matchup. And yeah, Boogan squad just flexing, showing why they're the top of Division C and why they intend to stay there. And I don't think that there's a whole lot right now that can be done about it. Congratulations, good victory. There are your talents. And that's going to be it for game number 2. Well, I appreciate everyone showing up and making my chat nice and active. If you haven't already, please do hit the follow button. And if you're feeling uber generous and have a nice Twitch Prime hanging around, please do subscribe to this channel. It helps me and my family out. I'm very close to getting the second emoji unlocked, even though I haven't got my first one done up. But I'm no artist, so it's going to be a little bit of time for me to put it together. For all of you guys out there waiting for cool emojis to come in, even when I get them done, they're probably not going to be cool. And if you're feeling uber generous, we also have the donation tip jar at the bottom too as well. And like Weenus did at the beginning of the stream here, the biddies are also very welcome. So if you're at all interested in any of that, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I might be back in a little bit here for some more streaming, but I do have my own match coming up in about 2 hours, so I'm probably not gonna bother with that. Plus, I need to eat. So I think this is the it for me. Thank you for everyone again for being here. Support us all at NGS, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great night.